John Cena returns to WWE on SmackDown, and he drops Jimmy Uso like a bad habit. For no reason whatsoever, with no storyline purpose whatsoever, just to make Jimmy Uso look like a goof to set him up for the main storyline later in the night. Make sense? Of course it doesn't make sense! This is WWE we're talking about! And Bobby Lashley is out there with the Street Profits last night. The Street Business, if you will. Are they a real faction? What are they? Because what we saw last night was just Bobby Lashley with the same old Street Profits! They're just three dudes at the club that can't get anybody to look in their direction. What's the difference with the Street Business? And Charlie Flair. Charlie Flair decides the winner of Bayley versus Shotzi last night. There's just one major issue. Nobody cared about Charlie Flair last night. Listen to the reaction, or lack thereof. Watch the reaction, or lack thereof, for Charlie Flair. Is this company finally gonna get the hint after 8 long years that this Charlie Flair experiment has failed miserably? The LWO is no longer just jobbers. That's the good news. The bad news is most of those members in the LWO are now campaigning to be the mayor of Jobberville. They may go for the governing body of Jobberville. Wait till you hear the night that the LWO had. But hey, look at the bright side. At least Zelena Vega still has those pretty darn looking bunny ears. We're gonna talk all about it. It's all coming up in today's SmackDown review on the Amped Up Podcast, Saturday, September 2nd, 2023. Hours away from WWE's PayBack pay-per-view premium live event. So I say, lock in your earbuds, grab your coffees, smash those ups to let BC know you're amped up, and let's get amplified! And a good morning to my amplified unit. It is PayBack Saturday. And BC is going to try to be live for the big event tonight. A live, the good, the bad, and the ugly review on the channel tonight. And BC is going to try to have that available for all of my subscribers. As long as you're subscribed to the channel, you should be able to catch that live stream tonight. The chat may only be available to Gold Card channel members. That is a perk for being a channel member. Several live streams throughout the month. So we really want to start September in a big way for channel members. But I want to have the stream available for every subscriber. Every amplified unit supporter should be able to catch that stream tonight. But in the chat, that may only be for channel members. We'll find out all the info as we get on with the day, man. And that'll be set up a few hours before the actual WWE PayBack. So tune in. Bottom line, check out the channel, man. Even if you don't stay for the entire stream tonight, keep checking back in and out after every match for sure to see where we're putting every match tally into which column, the good, the bad, and the ugly. It's always a fun night when we get to do these live with my entire amplified unit, and especially my channel Gold Card members rocking out top tier status. So that's tonight. But first, the first order of business, it's not the Hurt Business or the Street Business. We'll get to that. It's SmackDown 9/1/23 business. And we start off with John Cena returning to WWE. Now get this, man. I need a swig of coffee here because this doesn't make sense. Of all the ways to bring back John Cena, you just have him do stupid shit just to do stupid shit? Let me get a swig of coffee. I'll tell you what I'm talking about. Alright, so, here's the setup here. John Cena's middle of the ring. Jimmy Uso comes out. Jimmy Uso says, and I quote, "Why are you even here, John? You don't even go here!" Alright, he didn't say that. That's old school Bianca Belair. You don't even go here! If you know, you know. But Jimmy Uso did say, "Why are you even here, John?" John Cena's looking around like, well, I kind of still own this place, right? I mean, you're not creating any new stars. Let's be honest. Every time I come back, I pretty much get the loudest, if not close to the loudest pop. People like LA Knight are still trying to get that push. It's been over 7-8 months now. And he's finally got his first real feud with The Miz, which we'll get to in a little bit on this show. But John Cena's looking around, and I'm sure he's thinking, like, what do you mean, what am I doing here? I wouldn't have to be here if this company was doing shit properly. So he says, what are you doing here, John? Then he says to John Cena, and I quote, "You're just like Roman Reigns. You take, and you take, and you take. The only difference is you do it with a smile on your face." Damn, that's scathing, bro. Jimmy Uso is saying, dude, you take out your golden shovel, and the only difference between you and Roman is you do it face to face with a smile. You let him know you're burying him. And he means promos, too, not just beating him 1, 2, 3, right? He means in promos. I remember when he wrecked Roman Reigns on the stick, on the mic, when Roman forgot his lines. He wrecked Austin Theory, and Theory has never been the same since. He already was in the doghouse, getting piped in booze. Nobody cared. After that promo cut on him, damn, you're going to take an eternity to dig out of that hole, son. So he says the only difference is you do it with a smile. Damn. So Cena says, and I quote, "I've been waiting 3 years to say this to you. The wrong Uso quit." Damn. All right. I love that line. The wrong Uso quit. In other words, this company could do without you, but Jay, he's a star. Now, this line doesn't make any sense, let's be honest, right? I still love it, but it doesn't make any sense. Listen, I've been waiting 3 years to say this to you. The wrong Uso quit. But Jay didn't quit 3 years ago, 2 years ago, a year ago, a month ago. Jay just recently quit. So how could you have waited 3 years to say it? Whatever. It was still a really good line. Now, Jimmy goes to super kick Jonathan. Jonathan blocks it, and Jonathan hits the attitude adjustment on Jimmy Uso. There's just one problem with this. Jimmy Uso is involved in one of the main storylines. In fact, Jimmy Uso is the focal point of the main event later, AJ Styles versus Solo Sikoa. So why is he simplistically getting an attitude adjustment from Cena? And you say, well, BC, maybe they're setting something up with Cena in the bloodline. No, thank you, no. We do not need to see Roman Reigns versus John Cena again! Or John Cena versus anybody in the bloodline. Whoever's left. Maybe if you give me John Cena versus Paul Heyman, I'll give you $10 on the Peacock subscription service. But unless John Cena's in there with Paul Heyman, I don't give a shit if he's taking on Solo or Jimmy one-on-one. Jimmy Uso cannot afford to just be taking an attitude adjustment like that, just so everybody pops that John Cena did a wrestling move. Very odd turn of events in segment number 1. Setting Jimmy up later in the night to be taken seriously in this bloodline storyline, trying to get back into the bloodline. Well, I'm sure Roman's looking at you just get your ass whooped by Jonathan Cena. Anyway, weird. Nothing good can stem from that Q1 segment last night on SmackDown. But we'll wait and see. Let it play out, Beasley. All right, we'll let it play out. We'll see how Jimmy, getting attitude adjustmented, FU'd by John Cena, is going to play out well for Jimmy Uso. Moving on. Ready for this? Oh, you're going to get a kick out of this. Let me get a swig of coffee. Wait till you hear this next match and the result. So you have your United States champion, Rey Mysterio, in there with his faction partner, Santos Escobar, 2/4 or 2/5, if you include Zelena, obviously, of LWO. Rey Mysterio and Santos versus Grayson, Waller, and Austin Theory. Oh, great. That's all we need. Now, Theory is going to be connected with another fucking bum, Grayson Waller, and we know he's got talent and he's got potential. But he hasn't been booked that way, and so far nobody cares about Grayson. And now you're going to throw him with Austin Theory, and I'm supposed to give two flying fucks? Because I'm looking out the window. I don't see one flying fuck. I don't see one scootering fuck. I don't see a fuck on a bus, or a fuck on a car, or a fuck on a train. I see no fucks whatsoever given to this Grayson Waller versus Austin Theory tandem. But they're beating Santos and your United States champion last night. That's right, Waller pins Santos with a rolling stunner. Waller wins a match! I believe he has not won a match since he got into the roster. I believe. I truly think he's lost every single match, whether it's a fatal four-way, a tag team, straight up against people like Edge. But he finally won a match. Austin Theory and Grayson Waller beat 2/4, 2/5 of the LWO. And the problem with that is one of them is your U.S. champion. So, again, champions can only matter or feel prestigious if they're being booked as such. Why book this match with your United States champion if he's just taken a simplistic L? Well, basically, he didn't take the pin, though. It was Santos. Great! Santos already, nobody cares about Santos. He won the Fatal 4-Way or whatever it was to get the U.S. title opportunity several weeks ago, and nobody cared. Again, the big story here is Waller actually won a match, let's be honest. And the bigger story is what happens with the other members of the LWO. We'll get to that in just a few minutes. But first, we gotta talk Bobby Lashley and the Street Profits. You see, Bobby Lashley and the Street Profits were middle of the ring in Q3 last night. Bobby says, and I quote, "Real recognizes real, and great recognizes great. And that's why I recognize the Street Profits." Well, isn't that a cute little Mr. Rogers quote? Real recognizes real, great recognizes great, and that's why I recognize the Street Profits. Well, now we know why this tandem formed, why this faction is a faction. Or is it? Because the Street Profits said words last night, and I'm not even sure what they said last night in those words. It was stupid. The Street Profits said words that I will never remember, nor do I care enough to go back and listen to. And then Lashley says, and I quote, "We're putting everyone in notice." I'm guessing he meant on notice, by the way. We're putting everyone on notice, but he says in notice. It's Bobby Lashley. He's never been big on the mic. We still love the dude. We want the best for the dude. We had high hopes when the Street Profits got in that limousine, and we started to see a little bit of a change in attitude with the Street Profits, right? And we all got kind of excited. Hey, Hurt Business 2.0, street business. And then you see last night, and the red cups are falling down, and they're giggling and goofing around, right? Oh, it's the same Street Profits. It's a fucking clown show. The promo ends flat. Go back, check it out yourself. The crowd gave zero reaction, and that's a major problem because the crowd popped decently for Bobby and semi-decently for the Profits, and when all was said and done, not so much. Go back, listen to the end of that promo, watch the crowd, listen to the crowd. The promo fell flat, and that's the worst thing when you can have a semi-decent response to begin the promo, and when the promo is done, nobody cares. You've lost the audience, and that's what happened last night. Are they face? This street business, are they face? Or are they a heel? Are they tweeners? We don't know what they are. There is zero identity to this group. You want to say that they lean more face, right? Because Bobby, we all respect and love the dude, and he got a decent pop last night. Street Profits are the silly, goofy little tag team that you can't help but just fucking go, oh, it's the Street Profits. Just want to pinch their little cheekies. Ow, it's the Street Profits. Right? They're the team that you just go, aw, because you feel bad for them, right? So you give them a pity pop. So they lean more face, BC, is what you say. But as they're leaving the ring last night, they have a face-off confrontation with the tag title holders, Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. They're pristinely face. And they have a stare down with the faces. Nobody knows. It's like they're feeling them out. They're seeing how the audience responds to them, right? BC, that's all it is, man. The company's just seeing how the audience responds, and then they're going to go accordingly. How about you make a decisive decision as a company? How's that? How about you know what you're doing with your wrestlers? Because don't feed me that BS. When we do dictate who's going over and who's not, they don't want to listen. For 8 months, we've been telling you it's been LA Knight. He finally has his first real feud with The Miz. 8 months later! 8 months later. Don't act like we're really going to fucking call this anyway. They're going to do what they want to do. The truth is, they don't know what they're doing with Bobby and the Street Profits. They put them all together, try to do a bootleg, upgraded version of Cedric, Shelton, and Bobby. That's what they're thinking. And then they put them together, and they're like, well, I don't know where we're really going with it. I guess we can have you feud with, like, LWO soon. And then maybe the Vikings can come over from Raw because we don't actually acknowledge or honor the brand split. Maybe AJ and his little tandem there, the little OC, maybe you guys can have like 6-man tags with them. Maybe we'll call Tony Khan and see if you guys can participate in their trios division. I don't know what to do with them. What do we do with them, doofus son-in-law? I don't know, Vince. I haven't took my nose out your ass in a long time. You good-for-nothing doofus son-in-law! I don't know what they're talking about in those WWE walls, but what I can tell you is this Bobby Lashley and this Street Profits, I don't know what everyone's getting excited about. What I saw last night is Bobby Lashley and the Street Profits thrown together with no identity. They're smiling out there, they're goofy. It's the same regurgitated, lackluster, boring-ass promos. And now we just gotta watch them in what, 6-man tags? You know I'm right, man. We had high hopes. Got our hopes too high. And now they're being brought right back down the fucking earth by World Wrestling Entertainment. Do better with this. Bobby and Street Profits have potential. Do better. Hour number 1 ends with the tag team champions, Owens and Zane, defeating the other 2 members of the LWO, Bob and Steve. I believe their name is. Whoever they are, nobody cares. How they made it out of catering is still a mystery to me. The other 2 members of the LWO, can they be any more irrelevant? Of course we're kidding around. It's Wild and Del Toro. But still, it might as well be Bob and Steve. Simplistically in a few minutes. Now, no, your tag title holders should not be losing this match, but isn't the LWO booked as faces? Why are they in there with your top-tier tag team faces, Zayn and Owens? This booking makes nobody look good. Nobody is going to remember they saw Sami and KO in action last night. The match is that forgettable. If I didn't have it in my notes, I would have forgotten about it! I'll tell you that much. Anyway, Bob and Steve lose this fucking match, and with that loss, a pretty rough night for the LWO. But hey, at least Zelena still has her really cool bunny ears. That's always something to discuss. Zelena Vega still is a hot beauty out there. 5'11" of heaven. Is she even 5'11"? I doubt that. That seems pretty tall for Zelena. 5'9" of complete fine. 5'9" of fine. I like that, man. We'll do. Is she even 5'9"? Who knows? Let me get a swig of coffee. We're going to start hour number 2. Wait till you hear this, man. This was the best part of the night for sure. Swig of coffee. We're going to talk about it. Yeah. All right. So the Miz starts hour number 2, and he's running down LA Knight on the stick. And then throughout the arena, we hear LA Knight Knight's theme hits, and LA is now face to face with The Miz. And we get a 7-minute back and forth that was full of passion, amplification, and believability. Miz talking about Knight being a failure and cosplaying his favorite superstars from the past that actually had success. Knight then tells Miz, yeah, I had failures. Living in roach-infested apartments, sleeping in my car, cashing my checks at the payday loan place, walking to work when I would miss the bus, but I dug myself out of the sewers to get where I am right now, so I'm not on your level. Yeah, you're right. I'm above your level. That's basically an exact quote from LA Knight. It was so good. Miz would end up hitting skull-crushing finale, but Knight would catch up to Miz at the top of the ramp and start a beating that was broken up by officials and suits and ties. Really good. They let this entire segment breathe. 7 minutes plus of actual back and forth promo, a couple of minutes of physicality, a big breakup angle to end it. The crowd, and this is what I mean, guys, earlier when I say you can start with a pop, but how does the segment end? Did you lose your audience, or did they just gain anticipation for what's to come next week or at the pay-per-view or whatever is next? Do you have the audience in the palm of your hands, right? Something simplistic like Bobby Lashley and the Street Profits. Decent pop when they came out. The end of the promo, nobody cared about them, right? Did you lose your audience? You watch this entire 10-minute segment. Guys, they turned after the breakup at the top of the ramp. And LA Knight is being separated. Miz runs away, suits and ties, referees are backing up LA Knight. They cut to Michael Cole, Corey Graves, and Kevin Patrick, and they start setting up the next segment. And as the camera is on the commentators, you see and you hear the entire crowd loudly chanting LA Knight. That's what I mean, guys. Did you lose your audience, or did you gain every ounce of their anticipation? Are they still excited for what's to come? Did they enjoy this segment? Are they into it? That's what I always try to tell you guys. You can learn so much by the audience that is live. And that's what happened. The commentators are trying to tell you about the next segment, but they're being drowned out by the loud LA Knight chants. That's how much they want to see LA Knight get The Miz. Really good, man. Goosebumps when I think about when something is well done. Now, if you told me in the end of 2023 I'd be caring this much about a Miz storyline or a Miz matchup at a pay-per-view, I'd probably say you done fallen on your dome piece a couple too many times. But I am. LA Knight and The Miz right now is one of, if not the best storyline going on in World Wrestling Entertainment. It's the most captivating. And that tells you how much of a star LA Knight truly is, and it shows you that when Miz gets amplified, Miz is actually good for this company and this business. He's just always the goofy guy that always loses every single feud and nobody really gives a shit about. But when he gets amplified, he could be a viable asset to this company. This is just working. It's just working. LA Knight, Miz, best part of the show last night, easily. So there's some positivity for you, but you see, you're so negative. Yeah, because the shows, most of the time, are so damn awful. Give me more positive on the shows, and BC can preach the positivity. It's amazing how that works. Swig of coffee, and we got to talk Shotzi versus Bayley, and wait till you hear how this ends. So, Shotzi defeats Bayley via pinfall. Charlie Flair's music hits late in this match. She takes out Io Sky. It was a botch. Io thought Charlie was rushing to the ring. Charlie rushes for nobody. So Charlie's expecting Io to come charging at her with the title. It just fell off. But Io gets taken out, supposedly by Charlie Flair, and this sets up the assist for Shotzi to score the W. I kid you not, this is real talk. Watch the crowd, guys. When Charlie hits the ring, no reaction at all. I take no pleasure in saying that. This is part of the review from last night. And if we're going to review this honestly, there was no reaction when she hit the ring. There was the initial, oh, when the music hits. You know, somebody's music hits, you jump up, you look who it is, right? Oh! And then you have a moment to assess who it actually is. And once everybody realized it was Charlie, watch! You can watch it yourself when she gets on the apron. Actually, watch the crowd. Listen to it, but watch it. Nobody cares. In fact, more than half of the crowd, when Charlie actually gets on the ring apron, more than half the crowd is still sitting down. They didn't even have the urge to stand up for Charlie Flair, let alone clap. No reaction when they finally realized who it was. Is this not a wake-up call for this company? Of course it isn't. They don't care. They still are going to push. It's been 8 years. It's going to be another 8 years plus. That Charlie Flair is going to end up with 37 title reigns on every poster, on every WWE 18-wheeler truck, going town to town, and every WrestleMania main event or big match for the ladies. When after 8 years, she still doesn't even pull in a reaction for the majority of the crowd. Nobody cares. And this company just turns a blind eye. Ah, she's the chosen one. She's a Flair. Sad. Very sad. She gets up on the ring apron. I'm looking at the crowd not give two flying fucks. And I can't even blame them. Again, Shotzi defeats Bayley. Main event, Solo Sikoa defeats AJ Styles via pinfall from his solo spike finisher. Jimmy Uso with the assist here, post-match delivering a top rope splash to Styles. Paul Heyman and Solo are looking on from the ramp. Heyman is on the phone, clearly talking to the tribal chief, Roman Reigns. And it's clear that Jimmy is trying to secure his spot back in the bloodline. And I'm glad they're doing that because for a minute there, when he walked out last night, Solo said, you better, think twice about, what you're doing with the bloodline. And Jimmy says, I don't answer to you, Oos, or Roman, or Paul. And he walks out with his bags. And I'm thinking, are they really going to try to act like Jimmy turned on Jay and then they're just going to try to put them back together like nothing happened at SummerSlam? So it's good to see that Jimmy is actually trying to get back into the bloodline. Now, do they do something where the bloodline rejects him and the only person he has left that could possibly help him is Jay? Would Jay help Jimmy? Would that make sense? Where do you guys see this storyline going? I don't know if they know where it's going. It's kind of like this is the, and I'm willing to see where it goes, no doubt. The bloodline storyline is still, we got to give it the benefit of the doubt because it's been the best storyline in all of pro wrestling for well over a year now. But this is the weakest it's been. I think we all can agree on that. This is the weakest that the bloodline story has been since Roman has really turned heel and the fun that he was having with his cousins and taking them on and the tension between the three of them. And then the bloodline actually forms, Solo joins, then you go into the Sami Zayn shit, straight into the Cody Rhodes shit, straight into the Jey Uso versus Roman. All of it's been phenomenal. But this is the weakest it's been. So it's really interesting to see. And I don't know if they truly know where to go next. But last night was a vivid indication that this is pretty weak. But I guess the only thing we have to hang on is are they going to let Jimmy back in? And if they do, and they become a cohesive unit, Jay is going to then bring... But you got to believe this is setting up for Survivor Series, right? You got to believe that the bloodline will be fucking ready to rock. And all of a sudden, Jay gets some good buddies with him. I don't know if I want to see fucking Cody and Sethington and things like that. I hope it's like something fresh. And it sets up this big Survivor Series war. Maybe like a War Games type atmosphere for Survivor Series. But you got to believe that Jay's going to form his own little unit there and take on Roman Reigns and the Bloodline brother. And you got to believe this is all setting up for Survivor Series. But it just seems like it's the weakest it's been. So it's got to pick up, man. And hopefully it does that starting next Friday. Post PayBack. That's the review I got for you guys, man. SmackDown 9/1/2023. Tonight is PayBack. As I said earlier, BC hopes to be live. I would like to be. I'm going to try to be live tonight for that event. The entire event. I'm going to try to open that up to the entire amplified unit. Every subscriber should be able to at least watch and listen to that live stream tonight. Channel members, I'm going to open up the chat for you guys so that we can rock out. I can see all my gold card members, see what you guys got to say. And it's a cool way to show that appreciation to all my channel members. that threw a cool fee over to BC in the form of memberships. That's every single month. My channel members chuck a coffee at the channel and show that appreciation to the channel. So I want to make sure that several times a month they get live streams. The chat is open up just for them. So that's what we're going to do tonight, or at least that's what I would like to do. There were some super thankses in yesterday's podcast. I'm going to get to those tonight, guys. So I don't have the list right now. We're out in the world. It is a traveled day. That's what I mean. If I can get everything done, I can be live tonight, hopefully in the office studio, but we'll see. But I have a lot to take care of. I don't have the actual list of super thankers. So any super thanker from that last podcast and this one, if there's any coffees being chucked in the form of super thanks down below, I will absolutely have that list tonight to start off the Payback Good, the Bad, and the Ugly review. That's a lot of info. I know. I hate doing that, but it's a big night for WWE and in the industry. Tomorrow, of course, is All Out. I don't know what I'm doing for that. I don't know if anybody even cares. I mean, that's another, if you saw yesterday's podcast, AEW is in turmoil right now. The Punk situation, the suspension, and the lack of decisiveness from Tony Khan and being wishy-washy has overshadowed not just All In, but All Out. Sad situation over in AEW. Anyway, guys, BC's going to head on out, take care of the business I gots to, and we hope to be live. We're going to try to be live tonight for Payback. Until next time, there will be that next time. Top guy, I'm out. BC, saying check you.